The first time Maya Carter accused the Moretti empire of fraud, someone laughed. It was not nervous laughter. It was the slow, dismissive, kind, powerful men used when they had already decided a woman had wandered into a room she did not belong in. Rain streaked the 42nd floor windows behind her, turning downtown Chicago into a field of blurred white lights. A dozen executives sat around a black walnut conference table worth more than Maya's car, apartment, furniture, and remaining student loans combined. At the far end sat Vincent Moretti. He had not laughed. That somehow made everything worse. He wore a charcoal Italian suit with no tie, one hand resting beside a crystal glass of water. 39, broad-shouldered, controlled, and so still that the rest of the room seemed to move around him. Maya had been warned about Vincent before her temporary assignment began. Nobody called him a mafia boss inside Moretti Hospitality. They called him Chairman, Mr. Moretti, Sir. But Chicago whispered differently. Restaurants, nightclubs, real estate, private security, construction, and other businesses no quarterly report ever listed. Maya knew the rumors. She had simply assumed she would never be important enough for him to notice her. That assumption had lasted 11 days. Could you repeat that? Vincent asked. His voice was quiet. Maya wished he had shouted. She glanced at the financial packet, trembling almost imperceptibly in her hands. The report is wrong. Across the table, Chief Financial Officer Adrian Moretti leaned back. Handsome in a polished, expensive way, Adrian carried the comfortable smile of a man who had never been questioned by anyone whose salary required hourly approval. The report has been reviewed by internal accounting, outside accounting, and 2 separate audit teams. Then they all missed it. Another executive laughed. Adrian's smile thinned. Vincent looked at Maya. How long have you worked for this company? She swallowed. 11 days. Silence. Vincent's eyes moved briefly to the temporary staffing badge clipped to her blouse. And your position? Bookkeeper. Temporary bookkeeper. Adrian corrected. Vincent's gaze never left hers. What are we paying you? Maya felt heat climb her neck. $20 an hour. The room shifted. A few smiles appeared. Vincent leaned back slightly. So a $20 an hour bookkeeper with 11 days of experience in my company believes everyone else in this room is incompetent. Maya tightened her fingers around 3 sheets of paper. No. A dangerous pause. I think somebody in this room is stealing from you. Every smile disappeared. The atmosphere changed so suddenly Maya felt it against her skin. 2 men near the conference room doors straightened. Security. Vincent did not even glance at them. Careful, Adrian said. Maya ignored him. She walked toward the table. Her shoes sounded far too loud against the polished stone floor. She placed the first invoice down. March. Property management fee. Lakefront Commercial Holdings. $42,000. Second invoice. April. Rental services. North Shore Leasing Group. $42,000. Third. May. Facilities lease. Meridian Urban Properties. $42,000. Vincent's eyes dropped to the pages. Adrian's expression did not change. Maya pointed at the address. Why are you paying 3 different companies rent for the same building? Silence. Rain tapped against the glass. Someone shifted in a leather chair. Maya continued. Different company names, different bank accounts, different registered owners. She tapped each invoice. Same amount. Same payment date structure. Same property. Vincent finally looked at Adrian. Adrian barely shrugged. Multiple vendors sometimes administer overlapping property services. No, Maya said. His eyes snapped toward her. She turned another invoice around. Because they all use the same vendor identification formatting error. Vincent looked back at the paper. Maya felt her heartbeat everywhere. The supplier code has 7 digits. Moretti Hospitality uses 6. Whoever created these vendors copied the same wrong template 3 times. Adrian's jaw tightened. Vincent's gaze returned to Maya. How much? I don't know yet. You interrupted my quarterly meeting and accused someone of stealing from me without knowing how much. I know it's more than these 3. How? Because once I saw them, I searched other ledgers. Adrian sat forward. You accessed files outside your assignment? Yes. You had no authorization. I had a password. That is not authorization. Maya looked at Vincent. Do you want to fire me for opening the wrong folder? Or do you want to know where your money went? Nobody breathed. Vincent Moretti stared at her for a long, unreadable moment. Then something almost imperceptible changed in his expression. Not kindness. Interest. 24 hours. Maya blinked. What? You believe somebody stole from me? Prove it. Adrian turned sharply. Vincent. Vincent raised one finger. Adrian stopped speaking. Vincent looked at Maya again. You have full red access to every legitimate Moretti hospitality account. Maya's stomach tightened. Only legitimate? A flicker passed through his eyes. Several executives studied the table. That was answer enough. Vincent stood. He was taller than she expected. More intimidating, too. If you are wrong, he said, your assignment ends tomorrow. Maya nodded. And if I'm right? Vincent walked past her. His shoulder nearly brushed hers. Then somebody else's does. At 1:14 that morning, Maya found the first million. By 2:30, she had found 4. At 3:47, someone cut the power to her apartment. Maya froze in front of her laptop. The screen went black. So did the kitchen. The refrigerator died. The apartment across the alley still had lights. Her breathing changed. Slowly, she reached for her phone. No signal. Then came the sound. A soft scrape outside her door. Maya stood. Another scrape. Not knocking. Metal against metal. Someone manipulating the lock. She backed away. Her pulse exploded. The deadbolt moved, then stopped. A shadow appeared beneath the door. Maya grabbed the heaviest thing within reach. A ceramic lamp. The handle turned. Before the door opened, 3 violent impacts thundered through the hallway. A man shouted. Something crashed into the wall. Then silence. Maya held the lamp above her shoulder. A knock came. 3 measured strikes. Maya. She knew the voice. Impossible. She approached the door carefully. Who is it? Open the door. Vincent. Maya stared at the deadbolt. How do I know it's really you? A pause. Then, you accused my executive board of theft 11 hours ago. I called you a $20 an hour bookkeeper. You looked like you wanted to throw an invoice at my head. She opened the door. Vincent Moretti stood beneath the flickering hallway light with rain darkening the shoulders of his black coat. Behind him, 2 security men held another man face down against the carpet. A lockpick lay near his hand. Maya's blood went cold. Vincent looked past her into the apartment. You packed? What? You're leaving? No. His gaze returned to her. That wasn't a request. Then you're going to be disappointed. One of the security men looked at Maya, as though she had voluntarily stepped onto train tracks. Vincent lowered his voice. Someone tried to enter your apartment 3 hours after you discovered suspicious payments. I noticed. You're coming with me. I don't know you. Correct. You're allegedly a criminal. One of the guards coughed. Vincent's eyes hardened. And someone just tried to break into your apartment. That doesn't make you safe. No. He stepped closer. It makes me safer than whoever sent him. Maya hated that he had a point. She hated even more that his eyes did not leave hers while he waited. Not forcing, not pleading. Certain. 10 minutes, she said. 5, 8, 6. Maya stared at him. You negotiate evacuations? I negotiate everything. 7. His mouth almost moved. Fine. Vincent's penthouse occupied the top 3 floors of a building overlooking the Chicago River. Maya had expected gold, marble, and vulgar displays of money. Instead, she found dark wood, pale stone, museum-quality paintings, and the eerie restraint of a man who could own anything and apparently wanted very little around him. She sat at a dining table designed for 12 with her laptop open and a mug of coffee growing cold beside her. Vincent stood across the room speaking quietly into his phone. He had changed out of the rain-soaked coat. No tie. Sleeves rolled once. The sight irritated Maya for reasons she preferred not to examine. 6.2 million, she said. Vincent ended the call. What? I'm at 6.2. He approached. She rotated the laptop. 37 shell vendors. Property services, maintenance, advertising, consulting, equipment leases. Vincent bent over her shoulder. Too close. Maya smelled cedar and rain. She shifted slightly. He noticed. Of course he noticed. His eyes moved to her face. She pointed at the screen. The payments look random until you sort them by recipient routing patterns. Explain. These companies use different banks, but the final transfers consolidate through 4 intermediary accounts. And where do those lead? I don't know yet. He straightened. What do you need? Full access. You have full access. No. I have accounting access. Vincent's expression changed. Maya continued. I need payroll, acquisition records, private investment ledgers, vendor ownership documentation, historic legal settlements, insurance claims, real estate partnerships, everything. Some of those records have nothing to do with hospitality. Then maybe whoever is stealing from you hopes you think the same thing. His jaw shifted. You're asking me to hand a temporary employee access to the private finances of my entire organization? Yes. No. Maya closed her laptop. Then find another bookkeeper. He stared at her. You're walking away from $6 million? It isn't my $6 million. You could be paid extremely well to finish this. That's not what I asked for. I could multiply your salary by 10. No. 20. No. Vincent studied her as though she had begun speaking another language. Everyone has a number. I have one too. What? The correct number. He frowned. Maya pushed the laptop toward him. I don't care how much you pay me. I care whether the books balance. Something quiet moved across his face. For the first time, he seemed less like a man assessing an employee and more like a man confronted with something he had not seen in years. Someone who wanted nothing from him. Unrestricted access, Maya said. Or I'm done. His phone buzzed. He ignored it. Finally, Vincent took a keycard from his pocket and placed it beside her hand. Don't open anything labeled personal. Maya picked it up. If personal money touches corporate money, it isn't personal anymore. His eyes narrowed. You enjoy provoking me. No, I enjoy complete records. Vincent turned away. Those may be the same thing. The $8 million did not lead to an offshore island. It led to Vincent's dead father. 3 nights later, Maya sat in Vincent's private office while snow began falling over Chicago. She had barely slept. Neither had he. They had developed a strange rhythm. Maya worked. Vincent watched, then disappeared to conduct quiet conversations behind closed doors, then returned with another file, another password, another piece of the Moretti empire unlocked for her. He never explained what happened to the man from her apartment. Maya stopped asking after she realized she did not truly want the answer. At 11:32 p.m., she found a dormant trust. Vincent. He looked up from the sofa. Your father had an investment vehicle called Ravenna Holdings. His expression shut down. My father had hundreds. This one was closed after his death. So? It wasn't. Vincent stood. Maya opened 3 screens. Somebody kept it active. Very quietly. Vendor payments flow through these shell companies, through intermediary accounts and eventually into Ravenna. How much? $7,843,622. The room went perfectly still. Nearly $8 million. Vincent came around the desk. And then? Maya hesitated. That's the problem. His eyes fixed on hers. It doesn't stay there. She opened another transaction chain. The money moves again. To where? I traced a portion. Vincent waited. Maya wished she did not know the answer. A Calderoni, controlled development company. He said nothing, but the temperature in the room seemed to change. Even Maya knew the name. The Calderones. Moretti rivals. Old violence. Old graves. Old hatred. Vincent's hands flattened against the desk. Are you certain? Yes. How certain? 98%. And the missing 2? Because accountants shouldn't claim 100 unless they witness the transfer personally. Vincent's mouth almost curved. Then the darkness returned. Who authorized the payments? Maya looked at him. That's what you're not going to like. She turned the laptop. Electronic Authorization ID. M. Noldujublas. Vincent stared at it. Maya had seen the same initials on every executive approval sheet. Adrian Moretti. Vincent's cousin. His CFO. The man who had sat beside him in the quarterly meeting. No, Vincent said. It was the first time Maya had heard uncertainty in his voice. I checked it 6 times. Check again. I did. Again. Vincent. Again. Maya stood. He looked at her. There is a difference, she said softly, between finding an error and wanting the error to be wrong. His face hardened. You know nothing about Adrian. No. He grew up in my house. I know. He buried my father with me. Maya stayed quiet. He was there when my mother died. I'm sorry. Don't. His tone cut sharply. Maya stopped. Vincent turned toward the windows. For several seconds, neither spoke. Then he said, "Keep digging." Maya stared at his back. That's all? If Adrian stole from me, I want proof. And if he didn't, Vincent looked over his shoulder. Then I want to know who made it look like he did. Adrian Moretti arrived at the penthouse the next morning carrying breakfast. That frightened Maya more than if he had arrived carrying a gun. He smiled when he saw her. Still employed. Apparently. Vincent entered from the hallway. What are you doing here? Adrian lifted the pastry box. Your security chief said you haven't left in 3 days. I assumed our temporary accounting prodigy was responsible. Maya caught the insult beneath the charm. Vincent did too. I asked what you're doing here. The smile faded slightly. Checking on my cousin. Vincent said nothing. Adrian looked at Maya. Can we speak privately? No, Vincent said. Adrian's eyes moved back to him. Family business. She stays. That surprised both of them. Maya felt it in her chest. Adrian slowly removed his gloves. You're allowing a woman you met 11 days ago into family conversations? 13. Maya looked at Vincent. He remembered. Adrian noticed that too. Something ugly passed behind his eyes. Then he smiled again. This is becoming interesting. Maya turned back to the computer. Adrian stepped behind her. Too close. Have you enjoyed investigating us? She continued typing. I enjoy investigating bad math. His hand settled on the back of her chair. Vincent's voice changed. Move your hand. Adrian glanced toward him. The room went silent. Vincent stood near the fireplace. Perfectly still. His expression unreadable. But something in his eyes had become lethal. Adrian removed his hand. Slowly. Maya felt her heartbeat quicken. Not fear. Not entirely. Adrian chuckled. My mistake. Vincent said nothing. Adrian looked between them. Then he understood something neither Maya nor Vincent had yet admitted, and smiled. That smile stayed with Maya all day. That night, Vincent drove her home. Not a chauffeur. Not security. Vincent. Snow softened Chicago beneath the streetlights, while black SUVs followed at a distance. Maya sat beside him in silence. You could have one of your men do this. I could, but you're not. No. Why? Vincent kept his eyes on the road. Adrian touched your chair. Maya blinked. That's your explanation? It's the one you're getting. She looked out the window. You realize that's insane. Yes. Something about the calm admission made her chest tighten. When they reached her building, Maya saw yellow police tape. Her apartment window was broken. She stopped breathing. Vincent braked hard. His security detail moved instantly. Doors opened. Men spread across the sidewalk. Vincent's arm shot across Maya before she could reach for the handle. Stay. My apartment. Stay. She turned toward him. My life is in there. His expression changed. Not softer. More dangerous. So is whoever searched it. 20 minutes later, a guard returned. Clear. Maya climbed the stairs with Vincent behind her. The apartment looked as though a storm had passed through it. Drawers overturned. Cushions cut open. Books dumped across the floor. Her mother's framed photograph shattered. Maya stopped. That broke something the ruined furniture had not. She crouched, picked up the frame. A thin crack ran directly through her mother's smiling face. Vincent stood behind her. For once, he had nothing to say. My mother spent 30 years working payroll at a manufacturing company, Maya whispered. She used to bring spreadsheets home because numbers calmed her down. Vincent remained silent. When I was 12, she taught me how to reconcile a ledger. Maya brushed glass away with trembling fingers. She died before I finished college. Vincent crouched beside her. Maya looked at him. He reached for the photograph, stopped before touching it. His hand hovered between them. One of those strange moments where the air seemed heavier than physics allowed. May I? Maya gave him the frame. He removed the broken glass carefully, then handed the photograph back. You're not staying here. Vincent. No. I'm not moving into your penthouse. No. She blinked. He stood. You're moving somewhere nobody knows belongs to me. The safe house was a lakeside mansion 40 minutes north of the city. Maya hated it immediately. Too large, too quiet, too isolated. Vincent had guards at every entrance and cameras across the grounds. This is imprisonment with expensive furniture. It's protection. The doors lock from the outside? No. Then I can leave? No. Maya stared at him. Vincent removed his coat. You're difficult. You hired me. I'm reconsidering. Good. Fire me. No. She folded her arms. Then stop complaining. For the first time, Vincent actually smiled. It lasted less than a second. Maya still saw it. So did one of the guards. The poor man immediately looked away. Over the next week, Maya uncovered the architecture of the theft. Adrian had not simply stolen money. He had built an invisible bridge between Vincent's legitimate empire and Calderon interests. Property companies, construction firms, security vendors, consultants. Every payment looked reasonable alone. Together, they formed a financing network. Someone was funding Vincent's enemies, using Vincent's own money. But Maya found something worse. Life insurance policies. Large ones. On Vincent. She printed the documents and found him outside near the frozen lake. Snow collected on the shoulders of his black coat. Tell me these aren't real. He read them. His face went still. They're real. Beneficiary is Moretti Strategic Holdings. Yes. Controlled by Adrian. Yes. Maya felt sick. He isn't just stealing. Vincent looked toward the dark lake. He's planning succession. You say that like he's replacing a CEO. In my family, succession has rarely involved retirement. Maya watched him. This was the first time the criminal world around him stopped feeling abstract. You think he wants you dead? Vincent folded the papers. I think he has spent years making sure my death would be profitable. Maya's throat tightened. And you're just standing here. What would you prefer? I don't know. Anger? I am angry. You look calm. Vincent turned toward her. Maya, when men like me look angry, people die. She stopped breathing. He stepped closer. So I learned to look calm. The wind moved between them. Maya suddenly saw him differently. Not as a cold man without emotion. As a man whose emotions had consequences large enough that he had trained himself to bury them. Vincent looked down at her. You should leave Chicago. What? I'll arrange protection somewhere else. No. This is no longer accounting fraud. I noticed. If Adrian knows what you found, he already does. He may kill you. Maya swallowed. I'm still not leaving. His jaw hardened. Why? Because if I disappear, he wins. That isn't a reason to risk your life. It is to me. No. You don't decide what matters to me. I decide whether you remain alive while standing inside my war. Maya stepped closer. And that is exactly your problem. His eyes narrowed. You think protecting people gives you ownership over them. Something flashed across his face. I own nothing about you. Then stop behaving like you do. Vincent stared at her. Snow caught in Maya's hair. Neither moved. His hand lifted. Slowly. Almost touched her cheek. Stopped. His fingers curled into his palm. Then he stepped back. Inside. Maya's heart was pounding. Vincent. Inside. Maya. She knew instinctively that if she stayed another 10 seconds, something between them would change. So she went. The assassination attempt came 48 hours later. Maya and Vincent were returning from a meeting with an outside forensic accountant when the lead SUV exploded at an intersection. The blast shattered the quiet winter afternoon. Vincent reacted before the glass stopped falling. He pulled Maya down across the back seat. Gunfire struck the armored windows. Stay down. His body covered hers. Heavy. Warm. Absolute. Maya heard weapons outside. Shouting. Tires screaming. Vincent drew a handgun from beneath his coat. She stared. Don't look. How am I supposed not to look? He fired twice through a narrow opening as the driver accelerated. Another SUV slammed into them. Maya cried out. Vincent's hand locked behind her head. Are you hurt? No. Are you sure? Yes. His eyes searched her face anyway. Another impact. The car spun partially across the icy road. Vincent pushed the door open and dragged Maya behind the engine block. Snow exploded around them as bullets struck pavement. He shielded her with his body. Maya saw blood on his white shirt. Vincent, not mean. Somehow that did not comfort her. His men returned fire. One attacker appeared between two parked vehicles. Vincent's entire expression changed. Cold, predatory, final. He fired. The man dropped. Maya flinched. Vincent turned instantly. His hand touched her face. This time he did not stop. Maya. She could barely breathe. His thumb rested below her cheekbone. Look at me. She did. Not there. His eyes held hers while violence echoed around them. Only at me. And because she was terrified. Because trusting him made no rational sense. Because his body was still positioned between hers and every bullet on that street. Maya obeyed. That night, she discovered Vincent had been lying. Not about Adrian. About himself. Inside the safe house office, Maya found a hidden ledger. Not hidden well enough. Vincent walked in as she opened it. His face changed immediately. I told you personal files were off limits. You told me that if money touched the company, I could follow it. Close it. No. Maya. Who is Elena Carter? Silence. Vincent stopped moving. Maya's blood went cold. Her mother's name. Elena Carter. She turned the screen toward him. Payments. Years of them. Medical bills. Mortgage payments. College tuition transfers. Her tuition. Maya stood slowly. What is this? Vincent said nothing. Why did your father pay my mother? He looked toward the window. Maya's voice sharpened. Answer me. Vincent approached the desk. Your mother worked for one of my father's companies. No, she worked for Halston Manufacturing, which my father controlled through intermediaries. Maya felt the room tilt. She discovered irregular accounts 20 years ago. Maya stared at him. What kind of irregular accounts? The same kind you found. Her breath caught. Vincent continued. She found money moving through shell companies. My father believed somebody inside the organization was stealing. And? She helped him identify the man. Who? Vincent hesitated. My uncle. Adrian's father. Maya felt a chill. What happened to him? Vincent's silence answered. She stepped back. My mother knew who your family was. Yes. And she never told me. She was paid to remain silent. No. Maya. She wasn't that person. It wasn't payment for silence. Then what was it? Vincent's voice lowered. Protection. Maya looked at the ledger again. My father promised her she would never suffer financially because she helped him. After he died, I kept the promise. Her eyes lifted. You paid my tuition. Yes. My mother's cancer treatment? Yes. The room went blurry. All these years? Yes. And you knew who I was when I walked into that conference room. Vincent did not answer quickly enough. Maya's chest collapsed inward. You knew. I recognized your name after HR flagged your background. Before I accused Adrian? Yes. The betrayal cut deeper than it should have. Was that why you kept me? No. Was I some kind of experiment? No. Did you think maybe the dead bookkeeper's daughter would inherit her talent? Maya, did you already suspect Adrian? Vincent's silence was devastating. She stepped away from him. You used me. His face hardened. I protected you. That is not the same thing. I gave you access because you were right. You gave me access because my mother once did the same thing. No. How am I supposed to believe you? Vincent crossed the space between them. Maya backed away. He stopped immediately. That hurt more. I knew your name, he said. I did not know you. Her throat tightened. Now you do? Yes. The word came too quickly, too quietly, too honestly. Maya looked away. Vincent continued. I know you drink coffee until it goes cold, because you forget it exists when you're working. I know you count stairs under your breath. I know you hate being escorted anywhere. I know you pretend you aren't afraid when you are. I know you reorganized my entire accounting archive at 3 a.m. because the file names irritated you. Maya's eyes burned. His voice became quieter. And I know I have begun measuring every room by whether you are inside it. Silence. The confession hung between them. Not love. Something more dangerous because neither of them knew what to call it yet. Maya whispered. That doesn't erase what you hid. I know. I need to leave. No. Her eyes snapped toward him. Vincent closed his eyes briefly, then corrected himself. If you leave, you need protection. I need space. He looked at her as if the word itself offended him. Maya. Space. Vincent. For several seconds, the most powerful man she had ever met seemed incapable of finding an answer. Finally, he nodded. One day, she almost laughed. That isn't how space works. It's the best I can do. Maya left the safe house the next morning. She never reached Chicago. The security vehicle stopped at a railroad crossing near an industrial district. A delivery truck struck them from behind. Airbags exploded. Maya heard the guard shout. Then her door opened. A needle entered her neck. The last thing she saw was snow falling through a broken window. When Maya woke, she was inside an abandoned church. Candles burned along the cracked altar. Her wrists were tied. Adrian Moretti sat in the first pew. You have terrible timing, he said. Maya's mouth was dry. You've been stealing from Vincent. Adrian smiled. Still working. You're financing Calderon. Partnership, not financing. Vincent will find me. Adrian's smile changed. Of course he will. That terrified her. Maya looked toward the church doors. You want him here. I need him here. A trap. Adrian stood. My father spent his entire life beneath Vincent's father. Then Vincent inherited everything because he was born first into the correct branch of the family. So you stole $8 million? I stole much more. Maya stared. Adrian approached. The $8 million was what I wanted you to find. Her blood chilled. What? He crouched in front of her. You were never discovering the whole scheme, Maya. The truth arrived slowly. You planted it. I simplified it. Why? Because Vincent is impossible to lure into careless decisions. Adrian smiled. Until you. Maya's stomach turned. He watches you. She said nothing. He changes schedules for you. Moves security for you. Cancels meetings when you're threatened. Adrian tilted his head. Do you understand how extraordinary that is? You're insane. No. Vincent is. His smile faded. He spent 15 years building himself into a man with no vulnerable point. Adrian reached out. Maya recoiled. He stopped. And then you walked into a conference room with 3 invoices. Headlights suddenly cut through the stained glass windows. Black SUVs. Adrian smiled. There he is. Vincent entered the church alone. Snow blew through the open doors behind him. His black coat hung open. No visible weapon. Maya's heart nearly stopped. Adrian stood behind her with a gun. Vincent. Vincent's eyes went directly to Maya. Nothing else seemed to exist for one terrible second. Are you hurt? Maya shook her head. Adrian laughed. There. That? Vincent looked at his cousin. You wanted me. Yes. You have me. Not yet. Men stepped from the side aisles. Calderon soldiers. At least 10. Vincent remained, still. Adrian pressed the gun against Maya's shoulder. Vincent's gaze darkened. You should remove that. Or what? You already know. Adrian smiled. You think you're frightening because you don't raise your voice? Vincent took one step forward. Every gun in the church lifted. Maya could barely breathe. Adrian said, Sign control of the North Shore properties to Moretti Strategic Holdings. Vincent looked at the papers on the altar. Then at Maya. You'll release her? Yes. Maya shook her head. No. Adrian tightened his grip. Quiet. Maya looked at Vincent. He's lying. Vincent already knew. She could see it. Still, he walked toward the altar. Vincent. Don't. He picked up the pen. Adrian smiled. You always were arrogant. Vincent looked at him. No. Then his eyes shifted toward the balcony. I was patient. The church windows exploded. Gunfire erupted. Vincent dropped behind the altar as his men opened fire from the upper gallery. Chaos swallowed the church. Maya threw herself sideways. Adrian grabbed her. A shot cracked. His gun fell. Vincent crossed the distance between them with terrifying speed. He hit Adrian hard enough to send him into a pew. Then again, and again. Maya had never seen violence like it. Not frantic, not uncontrolled, but easy. Years of hatred delivered without wasted movement. Adrian collapsed near the altar steps. Vincent drew his gun, raised it. Maya saw what would happen next. Vincent. He froze. She stood despite the restraints. "Look at me." His chest rose and fell. "Vincent." Slowly, his eyes found hers. The church seemed to disappear. "Come here." Something broke in his expression. He lowered the gun, crossed the aisle, and dropped to his knees in front of her. His hands shook while cutting the restraints. That frightened Maya more than the bullets. Vincent Moretti did not shake. He touched her wrists, checked her face, her neck, her shoulders. "Maya, I'm okay." He pulled her against him. No hesitation, no restraint left. His arms closed around her as though every law governing his body had changed. Maya pressed her face against his chest. His heart hammered beneath her cheek. "I thought." His voice broke. She looked up. Vincent stopped. Could not finish. Maya understood anyway. For the first time in his adult life, Vincent Moretti had entered a room believing power might not be enough. That terrified him. She lifted one hand to his face. His eyes closed. Only for a moment. Then he pressed his forehead to hers. "I cannot do that again." "Do what?" "Not know whether you're alive." Maya swallowed. "You don't get to control everything because you're afraid." "I know. You don't get to lock me away." "I know. You don't get to decide my life." His eyes opened. "I know." She studied him. "Then what do you get?" Vincent's hand closed gently around hers. "To ask you to stay." Adrian survived. Vincent made sure of it. There were worse things than death in the Moretti world. But the punishment Maya preferred was public. Forensic auditors dismantled Adrian's network. 37 shell companies. 14 executives charged. Calderon financing exposed. Millions recovered. Moretti Hospitality issued restitution to vendors Adrian had manipulated and terminated every executive connected to the fraud. Maya refused Vincent's first employment offer. And the second. The third came without a salary figure. She looked at the contract in Vincent's office. "What is this?" "Chief Forensic Controller." "I'm not qualified." "You found $8 million in 11 days. Technically 13. Vincent leaned against his desk. "There is no salary listed." Maya looked suspiciously pleased. "I noticed. What do you want?" "Authority to investigate any discrepancy." "Granted." "Independent audit access." "Granted. No one blocks me." "Including you." His expression darkened. "Maya, including you." He held her gaze. "Granted. And I set my own salary." Vincent almost smiled. "That frightens me more than the Calderones." "It should." She signed. 3 months later, Vincent found Maya asleep at her desk. At 2:07 the morning. Again, he stood silently in the doorway. A lamp glowed beside her. Chicago glittered beyond the windows. He walked closer and gently removed the pen from her hand. "Maya Woki, what time is it?" "Late. I was working." "You were unconscious." "I was thinking, with your eyes closed." She sat up. Vincent placed a coat around her shoulders. Maya studied him. "You canceled dinner." "I had a meeting." "You always have a meeting." "I came back." She looked down at the ledger. "I found another discrepancy." Vincent's expression fell. Maya smiled. $12. He stared. 12. Somebody entered a parking reimbursement twice. He closed his eyes. "I employ 400 accountants, and apparently, none of them can count." Vincent laughed. A real laugh this time. Rare enough that Maya simply watched him. He noticed. "What?" "Nothing." "That look is never nothing." Maya stood. They were close now. Close enough that the months between danger and trust and anger and almost touching seemed suddenly very small. "Vincent." His gaze dropped to her mouth, then returned to her eyes. He still waited. Always now. That had become the most important difference between the man she met and the man standing before her. Power had once meant taking. With Maya, Vincent had learned to ask. She touched his lapel. "You can kiss me." He did not move. "Are you sure?" Maya smiled faintly. The numbers support it. His hand rose to her face. Slowly. The same movement he had stopped beside the frozen lake months before. This time, he touched her. His thumb traced her cheek. Then Vincent Moretti kissed the woman who had cost him $8 million, exposed his family, destroyed his certainty, and somehow become the one thing in his life he could not reduce to ownership. The kiss was not hurried. It was restrained for perhaps 2 seconds. Then months of denial burned through it. His hand settled at her waist. Maya gripped his jacket. Chicago glowed beneath them. When they finally separated, Vincent rested his forehead against hers. "I owe you." "For what?" "8 million. Maya smiled. "No." His eyes narrowed. "No? You owed yourself 8 million. She slid the duplicated $12 receipt across the desk. "You owe the company $12. Vincent stared at it, then at her. "You are impossible." "So, I've been told." He kissed her again. Outside, snow began falling over the city. Inside Moretti Tower, the books finally balanced. Almost, because Vincent Moretti had spent his entire life believing every debt could be calculated, every alliance valued, every betrayal priced, every loss measured. Maya Carter became the first thing he could never put a number on. And for a man who had once trusted money more than people, that terrified him. It also saved him, because after years of being surrounded by men who told him whatever kept them alive, Vincent had finally found the one woman willing to walk into a room full of powerful people, place 3 invoices on his table, and tell him the truth. He never called her a $20 an hour bookkeeper again. But whenever Maya wanted to win an argument, she reminded him that he almost fired her after 11 days. And Vincent always gave the same answer. "I was an idiot." Maya would raise an eyebrow. "Put it in writing." So he did, and framed it, right beside her mother's restored photograph.